Yes, sir. You fucking like that? That's right. There we go. Come here, where's my little bottle topper? There we go. Balls, cunt, fuckstick, chode, sucker, liquor. Not just the Fair and Ford sisters. All of you that are fucking chode lickers. What's up, YouTube? What's going on? You like this very fashionable? So I have to. We all know that wearing an apron makes you more believable and scientific. So I've upgraded. My boy Jose. Jose, if you watch this, you probably won't. Got me this for my birthday last week, which is fucking awesome. And just it's the devil's in the details, guys. Details. I'm a detail-oriented person. He knows this. Okay, he was my sous chef. Check this out. Look what it says. Look at that. Look at it. Fuck shit, cunt. Oh, that is epic. Thank you, Jose. If you see this, thank you, sir. Cheers. I'm drinking some Guinness. I've been on a Guinness kick since it started cooling down here in GA, northern GA. Yeah, not a lot of beers tickling my fancy. So I want some good old Guinness Extra Stout. Highly underrated beer. If you are looking for a good, solid fucking stout, and somebody was talking to me about this on Instagram. If you are looking for a good, solid stout and don't want to deal with some beer Yodas trying to get you to buy some $14 six-pack stout that's made with, fermented with, I don't know, fucking elephant nut, go get yourself some Guinness Extra Stout. Not regular Guinness. Regular Guinness is pretty soft, but this stuff's titties. So cheers, ladies and gentlemen. It's a direct order from the captain of the HRC police. You go grab yourself a beer, sit down. So why do I say this? Don't fast forward this video because it ain't going to be super long. There is no cut test in this video. I was going to do a cut test with it. Fuck it. I got another cut test I'm doing right now. I'll do it in 2 videos because this needs to be addressed. A lot of guys were wondering, we're like, yo, when are you going to talk about it? We're going to talk about it. I wanted to wait for all the dust to settle. We didn't just get the results. What I really wanted was to get the knives back, okay? Because shit didn't seem quite right. Like being on the inside of this and dealing, talking to Clint, and we all, all of us in the group watching what happened and what was going on. Big shout outs, by the way, to Alchemy One, my man Clint, to everybody in the group, to Kurt, to Kenny, to Ryan, to Gerald, to, Justin, all these guys, Blue Collar Survival, Outpost 76 in the Pocket, Alchemy One, J Cool G19, sorry. Everybody that's been involved in this, every single person out there that actually put their money where their mouth was, which was nobody that was talking shit, by the way. I didn't see anybody in the community. I didn't see Kevin Cleary or Quan Eugene or anybody else who had all these doubts and wanted to talk about all this fucking what was scientific and what wasn't. I didn't see none of them put a goddamn dime into this, as far as I know. So, to all the actual men out there that donated money, like myself and Clint and everybody else, to actually and who made this happen, because it's very expensive to take these knives and ship them across the fucking pond over to fucking England, get them tested and get them back. I want to give a sincere thank you to everybody that did that, that helped this whole thing. So my shouts out to all you guys. I don't know who it was. Clint's got that list. I don't, he's very professional and kept everything confidential. So I really appreciate that. To everybody, thank you. Now, let's talk about Katra testing. Yeah, Katra testing. So ever since I got into this, I get flack for doing these tests because guys want to act like, I'm telling everyone that this is like the be all, test, when it's not. It's just real world testing I do here, and I control the variables that I can control. I've said this from day one, okay? I control the variables in the testing that I do that you, the end user, and me, can control. I do this testing for everyday knife guys, right? I'm not trying to make a scientific statement, okay? However, being a dude of average intelligence, right? I keep the variables, I control the variables that I can, right? I use the same cardboard. I use the same length. I control the biggest factor, which is the edge angle. The edge angle and the edge finish. The two biggest factors that you and me can control when buying production knives is not the steel, it's not the heat treat. You can't control really the blade geometry, right? Unless you want to regrind, which most guys aren't going to do. But we can control the edge geometry, right? So I keep the things that I can, and the finish, what kind of edge finish we got. So I keep those things consistent and I can controlled, right? I use an angle guide, to make sure that I'm always at 30 inclusive, 15 per side. I use the same DMT stones, or at least the same grits. I've upgraded. By the way, humongous shout out to my Patreon guys, man. The guys that have donated, that actually I didn't really think anybody would do it. The guys that donated, I gotta say thank you so much, man. Because of y'all, I was able to buy belts for my grinder outside. Some really good belts. Shout outs to Triple B and to K Knives Roman and to Mike at I Heart Knives for giving me all recommending those Trizac belts, those ceramic belts. I got those, which is going to allow me to do more tests and make more knives. I've got some 52-100, two different types of 52-100, two different makers coming up soon. I was also able to buy a new coarse stone. Thank you so much. This is bigger than the one I was using before, which makes it go a lot quicker. It's even easier and quicker with a big stone like this. So thank you guys tremendously. You also help with all the shipping and stuff. I think I shipped 6 knives out today. I sent back 6 loaners that guys had sent me for testing, and that was somewhere in the ballpark of almost $70. And that came, almost all of that was paid for by the Patreon guys. So yeah, and that's just, that was just one trip. Obviously a lot of it comes out of my pocket still. I get around $100 a month or something like that which is tremendous. Don't get me wrong. From the Patreon guys. But that's a huge part. There you go. There's a huge chunk that at least took that off my plate. And then the month before I was able to get the stone and the belts. So thank you so much, guys, to the Patreon guys that actually donate the hard-earned money to me to help me out with this. I really, really, really fucking appreciate it. And I really appreciate everybody who sends me knives and loaners. I'm horrible about getting them back in a fast amount of time. Because not only I take them, I have to sharpen them, reprofile them for the test, and I have to resharpen them, get them in a box, get it down to the post office. And now where I live, I'm far from a post office, so it's like a 30-minute trek. About 25 minutes I got to drive to go to the nearest post office. So I really, really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for being patient with me, and all the Patrons for helping me, man, get this stuff. Next month I'm gonna try to get another stone. I'm gonna get a DMT fine, so then I'll have 2 full-size stones, and I'll be able to blast through knives even quicker. Anyway, now, Katra testing, like I was saying. So everyone wanted to harp on me about variables, all the time. Variables. Oh, variables. You can't control the Rockwell. You can't control. No fucking shit. That's what this was all about, right? What I know, I share, and what I learn, you all learn with me, and I share with you, right? We're all in this together. The whole point of this channel is just to have fun, drink some beer, talk shit about knives, and then if I know anything that maybe someone else doesn't know, I can share that info with them. And then if I learn something by doing this testing, we all learn together, and we're all better educated, and we're all better consumers and better knife guys, and better, we're more educated about these things. So we can't just get fed bullshit by these companies, right? Now, so guys want to sit there and they want to harp on variables, and I've said a million times, the variables that people bring up, such as blade geometry, behind the edge thickness, the Rockwell, those are uncontrollable variables. They're factored into the equation afterward and go, okay, well, now that we have Kurt doing Rockwell testing, I can say, okay, well, here we go. I tested these 2 knives together in my last video, and they are at the same Rockwell. So now we have a variable that we can't control, but now we know what it is. So if this was this K390 outcut, let's say I didn't know the Rockwell, and this K390 outcut Maximum, we'd be like, holy fuck, how could that be? Well, then we wouldn't know. Let's say we find out this is at 67 and this is at 62. Well, now we know. Again, the purpose of that, it's all for all of us to learn, for me to learn. I made a guess that I thought K390 would outcut Maximum because they were at the same Rockwell. It didn't. It didn't do it by a margin that I'm happy with, right? So I think it's negligible. I think at the same Rockwell, these are very similar. Okay, K390 having a very slight edge. That's the point of all this, man. I learned something from that, right? I took a guess. I learned something. We all learned something together. But guys love to harp on my test and Gerald's test about variables. And the thing that got thrown out a million times, okay, and I even based my testing methodology off of it, was Catra testing. Catra testing, as far as I researched, was the premier and the only edge retention, ISO certified, scientific edge retention testing, right? So I looked at how they did theirs. They used an angle of what they said on their website of 30 degrees per side, 30 degrees inclusive, and they would cut silicone impregnated cardstock, and they would measure that through a series of cycles. So what did I do? I went and got cardboard. I do it at 15 degrees at 30 inclusive. I kept the edge finish the same 600 grit finish, and there we go. I modeled my testing methodology after theirs, right? It made sense. And these are all real world things. Guys cut cardboard all the time, right? It's a real easy, and I did the edge finish and the edge geometry based off stuff anybody at home can test for yourselves. I tell people all the time, grab your knives. All you need is 2 stones. Get it within the ballpark, cut cardboard, and tell me what happens. As long as the edge angle is the same and the finish is got in the ballpark, tell me what you get. And guys there's been dozens of guys that have done this through my channel, through BJ's channel, BJ Hill, Hilltop Knives and Gear. I don't know if I got it right this time. Sorry, BJ. You have such a long name. Gerald's channel, Tom Hoseg's. Guys have gone out and done these tests and replicated them, and lo and behold, they get results that are almost the same as ours. Despite all the claims about cardboard being inconsistent, which it's not. But despite all these mysterious variables. The reason I bring that up is because it was Catra. The only scientific, this doesn't mean shit if it's not Catra testing. Well, along comes Clint, Mr. Alchemy 1, who is a man of action like myself, and said, okay, cool, guess what? I'm tired of hearing y'all bitch about Catra, about it's not scientific. What is your version? What is the most scientific test you know of? Oh, Catra? Cool, no problem. Hold my beer. Let me get a hold of him. Took the time out of his day. He contacted him. He set up the thing. He got all the money organized. He got all the goddamn knives organized, and he got them sent out there, and we got the test paid for. All through him. Okay? Now, I was trying to do a scripted thing or something and see where I could pause, and then I'll pop in pictures of the knives and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a scripted guy. It's better if I just go off the top. So if at any time I'm talking and I just stop and a picture pops up, it's because I'm just putting it in there. I'm going to edit it in there and put it in there whenever I fucking see, whenever I feel. I'm not going to try to script it out. So you might be seeing pictures. I don't know. Or not. Who knows? My point is you will see this. So what ended up happening with this Catra testing? Well, we can look at the results. And now, when looking at the results, it's 2 different tests. But if you look at the percentages of each knife and steel against each other, you get almost identical. You get literally identical results to tests that I've done, right? At least the ones I haven't checked Gerald's, but I know mine, right? Me and Gerald get similar results anyway, so it's probably the same. However, all of that is fucking useless. It's useless. Why? Why is it useless, Steve? I'll tell you why it's useless, and you'll probably start seeing pictures soon. Because this scientific testing that Catra does is horseshit. It's utter fucking horseshit. It is unbelievably inconsistent. There's so many. Okay, so here we go. Like I said, okay. What the two? Okay. The variables that one of the variables, right? Now I'll see if I can find the letter. Clint will send it to me. When the original email on their site, they said that the knives were sharpened at 30 degrees inclusive. Right? That their Catra hone system, which by the way is a fucking pull-through sharpener. I'll put a picture of that in there soon, I'm sure.
So I pick up my guitar.
Pull through fucking sharpener will guarantee results like within 1 degree or less than 1 degree or something like that, right? 30 degrees inclusive. There shouldn't be any variance. It's a fucking pull through sharpener. Period. There shouldn't be a goddamn. It's 2 wheels at a fixed angle. Period. It should come out 30 degrees every goddamn time, right? Okay. 30 degrees inclusive is what they're going to do. Perfect. Awesome. It's the same edge angle that I use on my test, same edge angle G uses. Phenomenal. It's an even better comparison to what we're doing to see if our testing holds any water, right? It doesn't matter really because we're doing cardboard versus cardstock, but the percentages should be close, right? In my test, cutting cardboard, if M390 outcuts whatever S30V by X a percentage, then it should do the same there, right? Well, too fucking bad they can't get the goddamn angle right. Out of 4 knives, we had 3 different angles. You had 30 inclusive, 31.5, and 2 knives at 32.
Right next to me.
Huh? Excuse me? For all the scientific guys, I want to go quote people and stuff. Go to Knife Stool Nerds. Go to Laren. He has an article on there with 154 cm. And it demonstrates edge angles. We all know, we're all aware, okay, that edge geometry, the angle of your knife, of the edge, right here, not the blade, here, okay, has probably the most significant impact in it. It has the, no, I take that back. It does have the most significant impact on edge retention, on wear resistance, than any other factor of the knife, okay? If you, based on an individual knife, if you have this knife at 40 inclusive, and then you take it down to 10 degrees inclusive, you're going to see a dramatic increase in edge retention, right? Okay, we all are aware of this. The biggest factor, the most critical factor that is not critical factor to keeping the edge retention, keeping the test consistent and comparable, right? And keeping it relevant, especially relevant to what we're talking about, because again, the edge geometry is the only thing you and I can control when we get the knife, was botched. Was completely fucked. Now, either Katra is saying that at 2 degrees of edge variance doesn't matter. I don't know, because what I've seen, what I've done, and what I've seen researched myself, even on Knife Stool Nerds, 2 degrees makes a difference. But again, that's besides the point. The point is, this is supposed to be a calculated scientific test, right? So all the edges should be the same, right? We have a fucking fancy fucking dildo fuck machine, right? That pushes the goddamn, cardstock at exactly whatever it is, 30 newtons or 60 newtons or whatever. It's exactly, 30 millimeters of blade, and it does the fucking double cut, and then it measures that, right? So the motion of the ocean is fucking consistent. The goddamn, fuck machine, the pressure is consistent. By the way, 2 things that matter nothing to you or I's usage, because A, we don't cut cardstock, silicone impregnated cardstock, and B, we don't use the exact same amount of pressure every time we cut. But whatever, those are consistent. But the one factor that has the biggest impact on edge retention, which is the edge angle, is blown. It's completely fucking blown. I am fucking mind fucked on how they put this shit out. I can't fucking believe that because I'll show you pictures. They take whatchamacallit, it's basically a laser beam that they hit. So how they measure the edge angle is basically a chart, like right here, an angle, right? And they hit it with a laser beam, and then it splits the laser beam. And you can see how even the edge is, right? And where it is. You can see the edge angle. So they knew going into the testing that the angles were all off. But they still ran them anyway. So either A, they don't give a fuck, or B, they're so fucking ignorant, they don't even know that a 2 degree variance could throw the results. Either way, this shit is fucked. This is the biggest crock of bullshit. I can't believe this is a real thing. Okay? So let's not just talk about the edge angle. Okay? That in itself blows the whole fucking test. It destroys any credit. There's nothing to go on anymore. The edge angles are all off. People talk about, I can guarantee you that my edges are all less than, there's no degree of variance because I use an edge guide, okay? I spend all this fucking time, okay? When I sharpen knives for tests, the reason you don't see me put out videos often is because a test usually takes me 4, 5, or 6 hours to do. And the majority of it, the video is an hour long in itself, not to mention the editing, but the majority of that is because I test 2, 3, 4 knives. And when I test those knives, I take my time and I make sure those edges are exactly 15 degrees per side. And I make sure they're completely deburred, which we'll get to, by the way. I make sure they're completely deburred. If I get a knife, another thing, my testing, I do 10 passes per side on a 1 micron strop. When you're dealing with some steels, okay, that maybe don't have the best heat treat or have a lot of retained austenite, the burr is finicky. When I tell someone I do 10 passes per side, that means the burr is removed completely at 10 passes per side. For those of you who don't sharpen, that's not very fucking easy to do all the time. Sometimes it pops off easy, sometimes it doesn't. If I get to 10 passes per side and there's still burr hanging up on that edge, guess what I have to do? Restart all over again. I start back at coarse, go to fine, and do it again. And I have to continue repeating that until I get a completely deburred cutting surface before the test within 10 passes. Sometimes this takes a while because I give a fuck about the test. I'm worried about the validity of my testing to make sure that it's accurate. So when you go home and anybody wants to test this, or you taking my word that this knife does this, you can go get it and get similar results, right? Because I'm transparent. I want anyone to be able to try and test it themselves at home. However, Katra doesn't feel this way. The premier edge retention testing facility in the world can't get edge angles right. Let that fucking sink in real quick. Let it marinate. Let that wash over you like a hot shower. Okay? Let it just flow down your back real quick. That's what the fuck they can't get the fucking edge on a pull-through sharpener. A fixed angle machine. What's their rebuttal? Well, you know, because by the way, you'll see pictures soon where the fucking edges look like, I don't know, look like fucking Michael J. Fox was fucking sharpening them. Like the fucking shake and bake over there. Like the goddamn, they look like this. They're all inconsistent.
There's no sunrise, lift me.
What was Catra's response? Well, you know, the Catra hone machine isn't exactly designed for such small blades, so it does that. Well, if it's not designed for small blades, sir, then why are we testing them? Waiting. Yeah, okay? Just like when we're using small blades. They gave Clint some fucking multiplier, 1.6 or 1.3, but then when I took the 1.6 multiplier and added it, because they gave him okay, the Katra test works originally by doing 60 cycles. 1, 2, 3 to 60, okay? But when you use a small blade, like a pocket knife, they reduce it to 25 strokes, right? It's 60 mil or 25 mil, whatever it is, they reduce it, okay? Then they give you a number, 430 cuts it made, right? But then you have to multiply it you have to take it and add a multiplier of 1.6, which makes sense, right? 1.6 would be the difference between 25 and 60, right? Okay, cool, it's 60%, I get it, okay. But then when you add the numbers that Clint was originally given on the phone from Mr. Steven by 1.6, you don't get the same numbers. So then Clint turned around and says, hey, why am I not getting the same numbers? Oh, it's a decaying multiplier. What?
So many miles out, looks like drowning's my only choice. And I'm holding on to power cords, well, squeezing your hand tight. I find a way around the fretboard. Your last words in my...
Huh? It's a decaying multiplier. That means it changes as the test goes on. To fucking finger fuck and pencil whip the goddamn results is what it sounds like to me. It's a simple fucking test. You have a machine with a calculated load and a blade in a fixed angle that moves back and forth. Why is there a multiplier? Why can't you continue to go? If anything about this test, why would you do the 25 cuts? Oh, it doesn't work for whatever reason. I don't care what the fucking excuse is. Then don't do pocket knives. Your Katra home can't sharpen pocket knives properly, right? The fucking edges look like this. Their website, the fucking email, oh, we get these amazing results when we use it, blah, blah, blah. Go look at the pictures that I put up, which could be now or whenever. How about the giant fucking burrs that go across the entire edge of each blade?
You and goodbye. Oh, my heart got and hurts while the tears roll down my eyes. Told me that you're scared to find out what it's like on the other side. Haunted by the fear, nobody ever really wants to die.
Huge Burrs. Burrs. There was some guy in the comment section the first time Clint put out the fucking results, Mr. Don Bond. I'm not calling him out. He was just, I don't know what he was trying to say. How he was saying it was coming off the wrong way, I think. But he was talking about, again, I don't know how he got this idea. He was yelling and saying, our tests, or me, guys like me, are we not deburring properly? He was seeing something wrong with the results. I explained it to him. I didn't understand what he was trying to compare. But he was asking if we were deburring properly. And this is the reason I didn't put the video out yet, because I wanted to get the goddamn knives back. Okay? Now we get the knives and we look at them. Lo and behold, they have giant fucking goddamn burrs along the entire edge. So, Mr. Don Bond, who's not deburring? I'll sharpen a knife and I'll send it to you. I'll test it and send it to you straight here. There'll be a dull spot on the edge. You can check and see if there's any burr left. I'll send it to anybody. I go through a lot to make sure the edges that I use are all consistent and they're all good and they're all ready to go. Okay? Way more than Katra does. That's for fuck's sake, sure. So the machine doesn't properly, or isn't suited to do pocket knives. Really, with all this testing, you couldn't make a smaller one? I don't know. Why would you? If it's not meant for it, right? And the cycles that you reduce from 60 run cycles, you do it for 25 for whatever fuckstick reason. A, why don't you do it for 60? I don't know. Whatever reason you have, whatever reasons there are not good enough. Grabbing and putting an arrow in the wall and then drawing right here, going like this and then drawing a target around it. That's what that is, okay? The shit that you see Katra doing, to me, okay, is shooting an arrow at the wall and drawing a target around it. It's pencil whipping. Somehow Mr. Collector Knives, Mr. Mike, I'm still waiting to see the fucking charts from you, buddy. He sent his knives out at the same time, around the same time. He got his back. No problem, like that. Right? 2 knives. Somehow his results don't match ours. I wonder why. I wonder why his results don't match ours. Somehow he used Laren's fucking algorithm, his equation, and they came within like nothing. They came in almost identical, but ours don't. I wonder why. Because it's bullshit. That's fucking why. So I'm calling you out again, Mr. Mike from Collector Knives. I want to see, I want to see the same printouts that we got. I want to see your printout. I want to see exactly what happened. And then I want you to explain, I want someone to explain to me how if this is a scientific, we're sending 2 different knives from the same manufacturer and the same steel that are being sharpened by the same machine and ran on the same test, but we have vastly different numbers. Somebody's lying. I don't know who it is, but someone's pencil whipping something. I don't believe that. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a goose.
I talk you through your troubles. I'm so weak, I just wanna sleep. There's no rush.
So that's my take on it. Guys want to ask me about my take on Katra, and I'm so glad, and Clint's so right, I'm so glad we spent all the money to do this, because now all of a sudden, I don't hear Kevin Cleary, I don't hear the Farrell sisters, I don't hear Eugene Kwan, I don't hear anybody. I don't hear not a goddamn soul out there who was talking, not even the guys that were talking shit about the Katra testing, who actually, because one guy who's a fucking douchebag, I can't remember his name, he's got a weird fucking handle on goddamn Instagram. He's argued with me before about some dumb shit, and he was one of the ones that actually donated money, so my hat's off to you, sir. But I don't hear you talking no one talking any shit anymore. I hear nobody, I hear crickets. Where's all this cat? Huh? I don't even hear any motherfuckers I hear some people making excuses. But the big guys, those guys I'm named, I don't hear any excuses. Elmer, no one. I don't hear anybody coming up with a reason why we got knives back that have giant burrs on the edge and inconsistent grinds. Because there is no excuse. Because it's a fucking bullshit test. Because nobody has looked at this. What happens is knife makers take those knives or they send them to them and they get a result, and they usually, like they say, destroy the knives. They don't usually send them back. Wonder why they destroy them. Probably because you get this fuck shit. People, this is a matter of blind faith is what this is. This is people trusting someone because they have that ISO label, right? ISO, they're internationally certified, right? It's a scientifically certified test, right? And that's how people like to be. They see something gets that stamp of approval, we don't question it, right? We just throw our hands up like sheeple and go, well, if Katra says it, it's got to be true. I'm not like that. And the guys that I'm in that group chat with, the YouTubers and the friends that I have, I'm not like that. And they share the same mentality. I'm not just going to let you force feed me bullshit and take it on a silver spoon and go, oh, that's really delicious. No, it's horseshit. The whole test is botched. The whole test is bullshit. Okay? I think it's funny. Let's talk about the HRC testing. I think it's funny how you pay for the HRC testing and they'll poke the knives fucking 35 fucking times, right? But you're paying for a cut test, but they only do the cut test one time. There's no average. That's it. They take one knife and test each one time. If you want to do it again for another test, you got to pay again, which is another like $80 a knife. So when we do the Rockwell testing and the Vickers testing for hardness, we'll poke the knives 50 fucking times. It's no problem. We want to get an average, right? Because it's scientific. We want an average, right? It needs to be repeatable, right? We're going to take an average of 4 is what they said, right? So then we have an average, so it's repeatable, right? So we don't get any anomalies. But when we do the cut test, we only do one. That's it. We only do one. And then we throw it away usually. Get the fuck out of here. This is the most backwards backwoods bullshit. That's bro science. Talk about me with some bro. That's some goddamn backwoods hillbilly shit right there. Not me. Okay? I know it. I can sharpen a knife. I'll send it to anybody in the goddamn world. Okay? I know how I can cut. Okay? I can do it over and over again. I've done the same knife more than once and gotten the same results because it's the same knife on the same cardboard with the same angle. It's going to repeat itself. Okay? And I'll happily do that with any knife. If anybody ever wants me to do another knife, I'll test it happily. I'll do it live. Ask Matt Forrest, Mr. M. Forrest on Instagram. He's here on YouTube too sometimes in the comment section. Ask him. You can I will FaceTime or the Instagram thing. I'll video chat any fucking body anytime and I'll do it right in front of you. And I did it for him. Okay? You got an issue, I will bring that shit to your front door with a goddamn signed, sealed, and delivered, okay? Not these guys over in England. Not these guys over in England, who, by the way, used to be a government-funded project, but they lost funding. So now, how Catra works is they're a privately owned entity. They operate with an operating cost. They need people to pay them in order to continue to do business. Wonder if there's any room for bias there. I don't know. It's all the way across the pond behind closed doors and hush hush. I don't see any. All they want to show you videos is that stupid fucking Catra, that pull through goddamn Catra hone. But they get great results with. Phenomenal. Probably because there's a giant wire edge on the fucking edge when they fucking cut, when they use it to fucking do cut tests. So there you go. That's my fucking take on it. It's fucking horse shit. And I don't hear anybody else talking any shit anymore. Yeah. Because you want to know why? Because those guys know what's best for them and they're keeping their fucking mouths shut because it's horseshit. There's nothing to debate about it. Some guy wants to argue, oh, they did their Rockwell testing right because, their Vickers conversions were right. Who the fuck cares if the math is right? That means they did the math, they poked the knife, they did the math, and you have 2 points. It's an equation. A plus B equals C. It's not that hard for them to tell you to show you that the math is right. But like, for instance, on the fucking slip joint, they tested that knife like 10 times. Not only did they test it 10 times, they poked some of the knives on the engravings, then they poked it across the fucking blade face. You know what they said they did when Clint asked them? They said they used a bubble level. They didn't say they shimmed it. They said they used a bubble level. Like the one you buy at Walmart, to keep your table level when you're trying to level your table and do little screws on the bottom, little legs. That's what they said they used. Maybe they did shim it. I don't know. But explain to me why they poked the lion steel 4 times across the blade and didn't poke any of the other knives. I don't know. Probably because they got fucking whack-ass results when they fucking poked here. And they got whack-ass results when they hit it right here. Why? Because lion steel's heat treat's fucking fucked. Or they're fucking overheating the tang right here when they fucking engrave. I don't know. One of the two. But explain to me why. But what I'm trying... So they give us an average for the Rockwell. They give us 3 Vickers readings and 4 Rockwells. But the lion steel was poked 10 times. One of the Spydercos was poked 6 times. I think 3 out of the 4 were poked more than 4 times. I think they all were poked 5 times, actually. I haven't looked at the pictures in a while, but... So they poked them more than 4, but just cherry-picked the 4 that they wanted to put in there. Yep. That's real consistent. That's that's super. I don't see any pictures of the Rockwell testing. They don't send you any of that. They're not transparent about it. They don't show you pictures of them poking it every time. I'll show you the pictures when Kurt does it. Kurt has a fucking YouTube channel. Go to JCoolG19 right now. Go check it out. Matter of fact, he did an entire video demonstrating what happens when you poke things on an angle and when you poke them on the etching, when you poke them on an angle, when you poke them too close to an edge, when you don't space them hard enough because these things mushroom every time you poke it. That's another thing. I'll guarantee you, I think it's three test sites gap. You need a gap of 3 test sites between each test site. That's the gappage, right? You need between each one. Pretty sure the line steels are all right next to each other. A lot of them were all right next to each other. So they didn't even follow the HRC protocol. Makes it look like they just poked it, got numbers, and added the numbers to make it all fit. It's fucking horseshit. It's bullshit, is what it is.
I talked you through your troubles. I'm so weak, I just wanna sleep. There's a rush, I promise. I see you right next to me. For you, I move mountains. There's no sunrise there for me.
Utter fucking bullshit. Okay? By now, hopefully, I've put up the pictures, and maybe I'll put it up at the end. It's been 34 minutes of me fucking rambling. Everybody wanted to know what I had to say about it. That's what I had to say about it. To all you fucking naysayers out there who wanted to talk shit about my fucking testing, there you go. Give it to me now. Give me a good reason now. Because I guarantee you that my angles are exactly 30 inclusive. I guarantee you my finishes are the same. I guarantee that's the same cardboard I've been cutting with. And I can tell you right now for a fact that Catra can't do that. I can tell you unequivocally 100% of the time right now based on the data we've got, Catra can't give you a consistent angle. B, won't repeat a test without being paid. And C, have giant burrs on their edges. There we go. That's what I can tell you from the testing that we've got, right? I would love to see Mike's. I'm sure Mike's knives are fucking pristine and everything was perfect with his. So here we go again. Let's say that Mike at Collector Knives, his test is flawless. Everything came out fine. You know what that says to me? That says 50% of the time Catra fucks up. So how's that for a fucking variable? Huh? How's that for a variable? 50% of the time that I've seen their test done, if Mike's tests are all perfect, right? Let's say they are. Benefit of the doubt. His got poked 4 times. He's got 4 readings, 3 Vickers, 3 this. The edges all are consistent and there's no burr. Then you know what that means to me? That means 50% of the time they fuck up. Or they thought they know who Mike is. He's somebody who owns Collector Knives. He probably told them. They took more time with his test. And ours, they just took our money and ran. In which case, their integrity is worth a fuck. Which is even more a reason to doubt any of their credibility at all. So there you go. That's my rant on fucking Catra testing. There you go. Cheers. I don't think I missed anything. If I do, I'll touch on another video. I'm going to try to put out a couple videos this weekend. Again, thank you to my Patreons. Thank you for all my friends on Instagram and here on YouTube and everybody who's been along this bullshit, stupid fuck journey with Katra and their fucking nonsense and the HRC nonsense. I got lots more tests coming up. I'm going to try to get them hammered out. I'm going to try to get a couple done this week so I can get Kenny's knives back to him. Yeah, man. And I'm going to keep making knives. I'm going to keep making knives and I'm going to keep testing them. What I have an idea. I've got enough steel, I think, where what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to keep making knives out of 1084 and some 5200, and I think I'm going to start giving those away to my Patreon guys. The guys that are donating money, I'm going to get you guys addresses when I get these done. Put some handles on them. Try to make them look as good as I can. I promise they'll be thin. I promise they'll be hard, and I promise they'll cut. And I'm gonna send you guys those guys as a token of my appreciation for all y'all helping me. And then you can go out and beat the fuck out of them and break them in half because they're free. So again, thank you to everybody. Motherfuck Katra and motherfuck anyone who ever uttered their name as a antithesis to my testing. How's that? So fuck you all. all my buddies and everybody, all the subs, everybody, all my friends. Y'all have a good night. There's a good fight going on tonight. I'm going to try to go watch the Diaz Masvidal fight. I know it's going to be fucking badass. Y'all have a good night.